Hello, we're live for night 2. Let's let everybody else know that we're here. All right, if you don't already have the materials from before, the meal plan, recipes, and handouts, make sure you go to bit.ly/listen to my gut. Hey, Rita, and you can get that information there. All right, that will also give you access to the replays. Okay. All right. I think I can start. Facebook is trying to come up with some handy little tools here. Okay. And we're going to get started in just 1 second. Okay. I'm good, Rita. How are you? Okay. All right. Okay. I am just like making technology do something extra and letting people know, oh, okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. This is making me leave for now. Okay, good. All right, so let me if you're in my group, Go Vegan, I'm just letting the Go Vegan community know. Okay, I'm not going to use that format like that. Again, make sure, guys, that you have the handouts, okay? Very important. If you're on bit.ly/listen to my gut and you sign up there, everything's going to come to you in minutes, okay? All right. Hopefully that showed up there. Okay, good deal. Let's go ahead and get started. So last night we talked about we started talking about digestion, and we talked about the 4 things that your body must do in order to keep you alive. There's 4 things that your body must do to keep you alive. Does anybody remember what that was? Any one of the 4 things? Any one of the 4 things that your body must do to keep you alive? Tell me if you know. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a second. All right. Gut health. This is so important, y'all. It's the root of all disease, begins in the gut. Okay? 4 things that your body must do. Let me see if I can see anybody telling me, if anybody was here last night, they can tell me. 1 more second, and then I'm going to go ahead and tell you. This is also in the handout. You don't need to print it out. You can just touch right on the screen there and fill in, and that way you can take notes while I'm talking. The reason why I'm encouraging you to take notes is because it deepens the impression, all right? When you take notes, it deepens the impression. Repetition deepens the impression. It's going to help you remember, and then the next time you get ready to do something you shouldn't do, it's going to be in your mind. Not because I said so or anything like that, but because you have learned the information and been able to absorb it. And you can use your handouts to do more research on your own. Some of you may have health challenges specific to your gut, and you need to go deeper, because the talks that I'm giving this week, these teachings are very surface, all right? It's just to whet your appetite and increase your awareness. That's my whole goal, is to just raise your awareness about the importance of guarding your health. So the next time you get a stomach ache, you're not wondering, I wonder why, my stomach is hurting. You'll at least be a little bit closer to figuring that out. Okay, So I'm just going to tell you the 4 things your body must do. Oh, Rita said digestion. I knew somebody was paying attention. All right, good, good, good. Yes, so the 4 things your body must do in order to keep you alive is your body must digest. All right, it must be able to digest. Everybody's food is not being digested, you guys, okay? Your body must be able to digest. 2, your body must be able to absorb the food that you're eating, all right? 3, your body must be able to utilize the food that you're eating. Your cells must be able to utilize the food that you're eating in order to keep you healthy. And 4, your body must be able to evacuate that which it does not need, all right? So yesterday we talked about digestion. If you missed that and you're signed up at bit.ly/listen to my gut, then you can get the replay and the handout from yesterday, so you can go back and listen to that information later. All right. So we talked about digestion. I want to make sure that you know, and I'm going to skip around. Well, no, I'm not going to skip around. I'm going to start at the beginning. But yes, we talked about the basic foundation of digestion. There's a ton of digestive disorders that happen if you're not digesting food properly. I promise you, after I did this, I got an inbox from somebody about acid reflux. I don't care what you inbox me about. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, what are you eating? Because that is directly, your body is responding to what it like, telling you what it likes and what it doesn't like. Okay. So tonight we're talking about absorption. All right. Now, this is what absorption is. I'm not going to assume that anybody knows anything. All right. So I'm starting with as if we're all kind of on level ground zero together. Absorption is the movement of food particles from the intestines into either the blood or the lymphatic system. All right. It's moving the food particles throughout your body with the purpose of taking them to your cells. All of your cells need different nutrients. They need things to stay healthy and keep you alive. And absorption is basically proof that your body is getting what it needs, or it's your body's attempt to make sure that it extracts what it needs from the food that you eat, and that happens through the blood or the lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system actually does a lot of work to transfer nutrients throughout your entire body. Every cell in your body, from here down to the bottom of your feet, needs to have certain nutrients in order to function properly, okay? All right, so I just realized I'm 7 minutes in, I don't want to assume everybody knows who I am. I'm Coach K, and I teach weight loss by faith, and you can't really get to good weight loss if you don't have gut health. All right, so that's why we are here tonight, to understand better how our guts work. Okay? All right, so here's something that I found to be really cool and awesome. As I told you guys yesterday, I am not a medical professional, okay? I'm a certified health coach. And as part of that, I am fascinated by just studying about my own health education. The more you understand about your health and your body, rather than just relying on what the doctor is telling you, the better armed you are to treat yourself from a minor illness to something more major, because you will have the necessary information. So I am totally fascinated by this now. And, and continuously growing my understanding of how my body works. And a lot of what I share with you is about how my body works. And I encourage you to start paying attention to how your body works, because not every body is the same. All right. But one thing that is the same in everybody is that the entire digestive tract, you guys, is about 30 feet long in an adult, right? So wherever you are, where you're sitting, where I'm sitting, I'm 5'6", but my digestive system, how it's all coiled around in there, is about 30 feet long, okay? Remember yesterday I told you that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our bodies are incredible, and they do everything they can every day to keep us alive. And I'm just astonished by that. All right, so your entire digestive tract is approximately 30 feet long. In addition to all of the other systems that are within your digestive tract to get the food going, to get it absorbed, to get it utilized, to help you evacuate, your pancreas and liver assist in digestion by making digestive juices that the body uses to break down food, okay? Very, very important. This is why your pancreatic health and the health of your liver are also important, because your liver especially does so much work to push toxins out of your system. And when your liver shuts down, that's curtains. That's just it. Because all those toxins are built up and there's no way to filter them. Your liver acts as a filter. If you think about a strainer or something you use to strain certain things out and only let the good part through, that's what your liver works hard to do every single day. Okay, we could do a whole another topic on the importance of liver health. All right, so now, and then the gallbladder stores the digestive juice that the liver makes. So a lot of people have their gallbladders removed, but every single thing, some people think certain things in your body is not necessary. You can keep living without it, but it's not going to be the same, okay? Because God put everything in there for a reason. He designed it all to work in harmony to what? Keep you alive, okay? That is so, so important to understand how fearfully and wonderfully made we are. Every part you were born with is every part God desires for you to still have in your body today and to be functioning well. Okay. During the process of absorption, nutrients that come from the foods, let's hope there's nutrients in your foods, okay, including carbs and proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals, all those things. Every food component should have a portion of each one of those items, and many foods do just have a whole bunch of extra stuff added on with it. All right. These pass through channels in the intestinal wall and go into your bloodstream, and then the blood works to distribute these nutrients to the rest of the body. So your blood also plays an important role in making sure that nutrients get through your cells. So when you hear me say through the rest of your body, I mean to your cells. Ultimately, that is what helps to keep you alive. All right. This is I'm repeating that for a reason, because some people, if they knew that information, they would still be with us today. All right. The small intestine or small bowel is the part of the GI tract between the stomach and the large intestine. And that's where most of the food absorption takes place, is in the small intestine. Okay. Your large intestine is used more for evacuation. So it serves its purpose, but it has not come into effect yet until after the small bowel does some work. Okay. All right. Yesterday, we talked about something called chyme, CHYME, okay? That is a combination of digestive juices and undigested food, all right? When chyme is fully digested, it's absorbed into the blood, and 95% of absorption of nutrients occurs in that small intestine. So you need that combination of digestive juices and undigested food together to help continue to break that digested food down. One of the things that we talked about yesterday is how when you eat something, let's say it's a sandwich, it starts off very big. It's very important that you chew and chew and chew and chew to break it down into small pieces. No matter how small you think that is, after you finish chewing it, your body has to take it even further. And what's so I hate to use the word magical, but what's so miraculous, yes, let's go with that. What's so miraculous about that is how your body takes that sandwich and just goes in and says, okay, I need some of this over here. We need this over here. We need this over here. We don't need that at all. Let's send that to the colon, to the large intestine for evacuation. I just think that's incredible, you guys. Totally awestruck at what the body does, all right? So the stomach, okay, we talked about this yesterday, it breaks down food and passes it to the small intestines, and then here's where the absorption begins. Nutrients enter the bloodstream through small finger-like projections that are called villi that line the inner walls of your intestines, okay? I'm gonna slow down here for a second, because this is where a lot of people have challenges like leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome, and all of that sometimes can be linked to lack of absorption. Well, leaky gut is definitely linked directly to the fact that your body is not absorbing any nutrients. The finger-like projections called villi, so imagine, look at my fingers like this. This is how they are. They basically grab the nutrients, and then that's how they're taken out and dispersed, all right? So people who have not been taking care of their gut at all, that villi can actually die, literally start to die, and then the nutrients don't have anything to hold on to, and therefore can't be absorbed into the body. Okay, so for some of you, I don't remember this guy's last name. He was on Project Runway. If you're a fan of that show, his name was Michael. Oh, this was so tragic to watch. His name was Michael, and he was one of the contestants. He was on twice, too, because he came back for an All-Stars, but he got, I think, a version of leaky gut. I think they just said he had issues with his GI tract. If you see his pictures, you guys, I can't screen share, so I can't show you any of it here, but he was basically wasting away. People were spreading rumors that he had HIV and all this kind of stuff. But if you're eating and your body is not absorbing anything that you're eating, you literally could waste away. It's like you're eating for nothing. And one way you'll know that your body's not absorbing anything is if you have constant diarrhea. You're eating and it's just going straight through because it has nothing. Even if the stomach does its part and breaks the food particles down, and it can't get into your bloodstream or into your lymphatic system because the villi is eroded. All right. So there's a way to build that back up, but it definitely takes a lot of time. I don't want you guys to even get there in the first place. I want you to be focused on your gut health from the beginning before any of those problems take place, because it's so much harder to treat that. All right. Yes. Drink your food and chew your liquids. Is 28 chews enough? So when I was a kid, I was taught to chew like 50 times before you swallow. Now, do I do that? No. All right. Sometimes I do rush a little bit, but in general, I'm a much slower eater. Listen, it's better to eat slow and to take the rest to go than to shovel food down your throat, rushing, and not breaking it down, because you're making your body have to work 3 times harder. All right. Okay. Yes. Chew slow. Yeah. Diet of malnutrition. And so that's it. And someone can be overweight and die of malnutrition because their body is not absorbing the food that they're eating. Okay. All right. One of the other things that can happen, you guys, is if you're not absorbing, if you have a problem with absorption, you could eat all the vegetables you want and your body is not getting any of those nutrients. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Hopefully the screen is not freezing, because it's not freezing on my end. But I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a minute, some things that you can do to help improve your absorption, okay? All right, as we talked about yesterday also, the main job of the large intestine is actually to remove water from undigested material and form solid waste for your body to excrete and remove that. However, the colon, which is part of the large intestine, does contain bacteria that assist in digesting any remaining food that reaches the large intestine. So that's why bacteria is a good thing, okay? It's a good thing to have bacteria in your system. It just needs to be good bacteria. And one of the challenges with antibiotics is that they can often kill both the good and the bad bacteria, and then your body has nothing to fight with to do its work, okay? And that's why I am not a proponent of antibiotics, okay? Again, not a licensed medical professional. So you need to do your own research and make your own decisions. But as for me, speaking for Cara, Coach K personally, I would take an antibiotic if it was a matter of life or death. Other than that, I'm going to seek to remedy it naturally, okay? But if I do take an antibiotic, I'm going to make sure that I take some probiotics right along with it. And you can get those at Whole Foods. You can go in there and talk to them and say, which kind do you recommend? And they'll show you. They're very knowledgeable to show you which ones you need. And you can take probiotics off and on, whatever schedule you want. Some people take them daily. That part right there is totally up to you, but they can help and assist with your overall gut health, okay? All right, so if you have the handout includes a demonstration on absorption. I just think that if you really want to deepen your impression, you'll watch the little video that's included in the handout at bit.ly/listen to my gut. It's just going to help you understand more about absorption and why it matters that you don't just waste time eating things. You make sure that it's actually something that, number one, your cells need, and number two, your cells are actually receiving and getting. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you, dear. Yes, yes. So we could do a whole nother topic on the gut microbiome, and perhaps I will do that in the coming weeks. But you got to protect your gut and the ecology of your gut. God created it and He made it perfectly, but we abuse our systems through the years, and then it becomes much more difficult to get your gut back together. And anybody who suffered with anything like diverticulitis is one that's very common. If you're eating a heavy acid diet with a lot of inflammatory foods, you can take all the Pepto-Bismol in the world, honey. You're not going to fix it. It can only be fixed if you stop aggravating it. It's like I want to put this fire out, but I keep pouring kerosene on it, and I'm hoping that Coach K can give me an herb or send me to a pill or something that's going to put the fire out while I'm still adding gasoline at the same time. Okay, that's the best example that I can give you. All right, is if you're going to focus on putting the fire out, focus on putting the fire out. And let me give you 6 ways to do that. 6 ways to do that. If you have the handout, you can fill these out in there. Okay, the number one way to get, I shouldn't say, well, no, this is number one. I'm going to call it number one. These are really not in any particular order, but I'm going to call it number one, and that is reducing your stress. You must reduce the stress in your life, okay, for a number of reasons. The first one being that stress you feel, your body feels it too, and it literally affects how well your body can work, okay? The second reason why you need to reduce the stress is because if you're stressed out, you're not going to make good choices, sweetie. You're not. If you're stressed at work, what do we tend to do? Eat, or we feel like we need to treat ourselves to something, or we feel like, we want to self-abuse in some way, right? So you have to deal with the stress in your life first. Do not ask me to help you with your diet, or with your, don't worry about exercising first. You need to get to the root of your stress, all right? I just had a consult with someone today, a one-on-one client, and we are not even talking about her diet until January because there's too much stress in her life. You have to deal with the stress in your life first and be willing to face it head on. The Bible says if your right hand offends you, do what? Somebody knows what that is. I'm going to let you guys finish that. If thy right hand offends thee, do what? Okay. Do you want to live? Some of you guys need to make some drastic changes if you really want to live and live well. It's not about, I gave you a meal plan because I know that's what you want, okay? If you go to the link, you'll get a free 6-day meal plan, but you got to deal with the stress first, okay? All right? Okay. I went on about that for a while because it's important, especially the older we get in our 40s, we start dealing with a lot of different things in our, in our families and what we have and don't have, and the jobs and careers and family responsibility just takes over and your stress is at a max. You have to actively and intentionally manage your stress all the time. Cut it off. Yes. Okay. Second, eat whole foods. Right? Listen, nothing I'm going to say to you tonight is really rocket science. I'm just, repetition deepens the impression. So I'm just repeating it. If you want your body to know what to do with what's in your stomach, you have to eat food that your body can recognize. And most of what's in your grocery store right now, sweetie, your body has no clue what that is and does not know what to do with it. And, some of you are blessed enough to have a system that just immediately says, send that to the large intestine. I can't do nothing with that. Send that away. And some of you, your body is like, Rob, you know what this is? I don't know what that is, man. You know what this is? I don't know. And so therefore, it's swirling around. It's making you toxic. It's making you sick. Your body is raising the levels of inflammation on purpose, trying to put out the fire from this acidic processed food that you've put in it, okay? And therefore, it has to work overtime to keep you alive. That's the goal. Keep us alive, all right? The third point, listen, Grandma was not right about everything, okay? Those greens do not need to be on the stove for 4 hours. You might as well just take some paper out of your notebook and put that in some broth on the stove with some onions, because that's exactly what those greens just turned into, okay? it's not going to work. All right. Your food should be cooked as lightly as possible, especially when it comes to greens, things like kale and that kind of thing. You should eat a lot of raw foods, which is the next point. Point number 4, eat more raw foods. But also certain foods do better with cooking, but it just needs to be cooked enough until it is, bring some heat to it. But stop cooking that stuff till the color has completely gone out of it. All right. Don't do it. Your body, you're eating it and you may be full, but every nutrient that Google told you was in there has gone. Okay. And if you're worried that, you could choose to enjoy the broth, there might be some nutrients still left in there, but please stop overcooking your veggies. Number 5, eat the rainbow. So some of you guys have, commented and liked some of my foodie pictures and the pictures that I've shared. When it comes to things like a salad, okay, it should be colorful. So the next time you go in the produce section, we're so obsessed with our taste buds and what things taste like. I want you to think about, how can I make this salad as colorful as possible? My base is green. I've got something red in here. I have something yellow in here. I have something that has maybe purple in it, like a little purple cabbage. All these things combined together. If you're eating the rainbow, God colored each one of these vegetables a different color, and it has different nutrients with it. So whenever somebody tells me, yes, I eat fruit, I have apples and grapes every day. Well, what about oranges? What about bananas? What about cantaloupe, right? What about cherries? What about having some blueberries, which berries are actually the highest level of food that you can consume? What about trying some of those things? They all have different nutrients in them, and you should not be consuming just 1 or 2 of the same thing, of fruit or veggies, okay? That goes for all the people that say plant-based diets are so boring, I'm gonna get bored. What they're really saying is, I can't visualize my plate without any meat on it. That's what they're really saying. Because if you're eating the rainbow, you are not eating the same thing all the time. You're eating different things. They're in abundance. They're beautiful and colorful, right? The food even is fearfully and wonderfully made and provided for us in abundance. No matter where you live, you should be able to find something that will put a rainbow on your plate, okay? All right, and then number 6, and there could be more tips, but I don't want to overwhelm you, so I've given you just these 6, and I'm going to recap after this last one, and it is to research food combining. That's your assignment, okay? Research food combining. So what I mean by that is there's a number of different ways that you can combine food. I want you to research food combining for the purpose of absorption, okay? A great example of this is if you are seeking to eat iron-rich foods. Your iron is low, and so you want to eat foods that are high in iron, like spinach, green leafy vegetables. They always tell you, increase your green leafy vegetables, but they don't always tell you that if you really want your body to be able to assimilate the iron that's in those green leafy vegetables, you need to combine it with vitamin C. Some of you know this, but you may not be doing it. Research shows that if you combine your green leafy vegetables with vitamin C or any iron, anything that has a good amount of iron in it, it could be beets, right? Maybe you squeeze a little orange juice on top of your beets, or you roast your beets with a little bit of orange juice on there, not store-bought orange juice, but fresh orange. That's going to increase the vitamin C and help your body to be able to recognize, oh, there's iron in here. Oh my goodness, we've been waiting on that. And then take that iron and send it to your cells, to the cells that need it most. To do what? Keep you alive, okay? And that's the goal, all right? Listen, I'm at the end, but I want you to know that I'm doing this series for you guys from my heart, man. I really, even if nothing else happens, if I never get a single another client, I've just made a commitment through the end of 2018, really lifelong, but definitely in an intentional way through 2018 to help as many people as I can. I'm very exhausted of reading Rest in Peace in my timeline news feed. I'm very exhausted of seeing people post that they're in the ER, they're in the hospital, and they're way too young to be sick. It's exhausting. And so my goal is to figure out, not exhausting, it's painful. It is exhausting, but it's also painful to see. And I just feel like I need to do a better job. Every time I see more of it, I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job just sharing what I already know. Forget about things that I have yet to learn. There's things that I already know, and I just want to get this information to you guys in as compelling a way, as I can. So that's why I gave you the handouts, because I think that it's important that you use the handouts to go ahead and listen along and take your own notes, take your health more seriously. Even if you don't have gut problems, you might have a loved one that ends up with these issues, and you'll be able to help them lovingly. That's key. You're not going to tell them what to do. You're not going to fuss at them about it. You're going to lovingly say, hey, have you considered this? Have you tried this? I heard about that. You'll build on what I've shared with you, and you'll go and do your own research and be able to arm yourself with what you need to be able to heal yourself or your loved ones, okay? So if you don't have the information, again, the link is bit.ly/listen to my gut. You're going to get a 6-day meal plan. You will receive replays of the sessions that you missed and handouts to go along with them, all right? I hope that this blesses you. I hope that you make a change because of it. If it is a blessing for you, please feel free to share anything that I've shared with you with other people to help them on their journey. Each one reach one, right? Okay, listen, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to sign off, but I want you guys to know something that I tell my Rebirth sisters and community members every time we end a call, and that is that I love you. I absolutely do, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking about utilization, okay? We covered digestion, we covered absorption, now we're talking about utilization. They really all go together, but I'm breaking them into little itty-bitty pieces and weaving together so that I don't give you too much information at once. I want to see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 Central, 4 Pacific. No excuses. I will get your handout to you earlier tomorrow. And so that way you have more time to make sure you have your handout ready before I get started. All right. And I'll see you then. Thanks, you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the night. You are very welcome. Have a blessed evening. Bye.